It's time for the Hope Show, where Socratic Scourge meets metaphysical truth. And here are your Hope Show hosts, Eric Lamont and Terra Strength.
What the?
How you doing tonight?
There's always something. There's always something. What is this? Are you playing some Bad Bunny?
You know I had to keep my Bad Bunny on today.
Oh my goodness. All the music I give you, and that's what you play. Okay. You know what I mean? It makes sense. How are you doing, Dr. Lamont?
You and I have completely different musical tastes.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Well, I've been sick as a dog.
Got it.
And it's amazing that I'm actually on here today.
Well, I see you. I see you toughing it out. You look all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I appreciate your commitment.
It's been a rough week. You have no idea.
But I do.
No, you but have no.
Just know that, Eric. Idea. Just know that we're not alone.
No idea. So, listen, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, all right. So today's show, listen, like today's show is about the divine feminine. I have been sick all week. I'm sorry, I was trying to get rid of that echo. As long as you can hear me now, I guess we are good to go.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo. So
you didn't hear it, but I was hearing it pretty strongly on my end. Okay. So we got rid of it. So welcome to the Hope Show. I am Eric Lamont. I am your host, along with the metaphysical muchacho, the pontiff of purity.
Here we go.
Right?
Here we go. Oh my gosh.
And the man who is.
Well, listen, just for a quick update, it looks like the whole ICE agent situation is beginning to be tabled from what I saw. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe you can tell me, but they voted something down for them to calm down or shut them down or something. Maybe you know more about that.
Yeah, well, obviously after our last show, ICE decided to leave Minnesota. It was all us, right?
It was of course.
It was completely our deal, right?
Of course.
We completely handled that as we always do.
We gave it to them.
We scared them out of Minnesota, right?
Just trying to do our part.
So apparently they are pulling out of Minnesota. They're just going to go to another Democratic city and wreak havoc there, right? It's not like they're laying the ICE agents off, right? They're just going to go terrorize another neighborhood.
Right,
that's all they're going to do,
that's
right?
Probably true.
But you
know what? If they show up in another city or whatever, we'll be there waiting for them too.
Right, exactly.
We'll follow them all over the country.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that them getting out was part one of what we really needed there. Part two is we need justice for those people who were murdered by ICE agents. Like getting the agents out of there was one thing, but actually finishing the story and giving justice to those families is the part that's missing. So we'll see how it plays out. They kill a little bit of our democracy every day.
Exactly.
But that's my political point for today. So I was calling you the Mamba of metaphysical, the metaphysical muchacho, the pontiff of purity. But I wanted to get this in. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that you were the original balloon popper. Long before there was a show. As long as I've known you, I was like, Terrence, why don't you date that girl? You were like, I'm like, dude, what's wrong with her? You're like, divine feminine. Got to be a divine feminine. She doesn't fit the mold of the divine feminine. I'm like, but Terrence, she's attractive. She's got great eyes. She's got great legs. And you're like, nope.
Not loving enough, right?
That has been your thing for as long as I've known you, right? It's got to have these certain traits, etc. And
Right.
I will admit, my brother told me once that he had listed 100 traits that he thought the ideal woman should have, and I think the woman that he married, he said,
Have
ended up with 96 of them. Right,
wow.
96 of them. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, there's something to that. So listen, tonight we are talking about the divine feminine. Again, I have been under the weather. I usually show up to these things with a lot of statistics, etc. And I tried to cram all that stuff in today. They are somewhere on my computer. I'm not quite sure where, so we might get those up. I'm also having some issues. We wanted to show some videos as well. Our mission tonight is to dive into some Kevin Sammy videos and some other things, and create a bridge between the viral, often confrontational conversations that are happening in everyday life and pop culture, and
Mhm.
find some deeper spiritual truth in those about masculine and feminine energy. So we're going to take the entertainment hook and kind of add the spiritual side, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So while we get started, um, I'm going to invite some guests on to join us. And I'll let you. I'll bring them to the stage, Terrence. I'll let you introduce them. And in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get some video shown on our show tonight. Because without that, it's just going to be four people talking, right? Which
And
is great.
that's not the
Which is
worst thing
great.
in the world. You know, if that's what happens, if that's what the universe brings, then
Listen, man,
we make
and
it
I
happen.
and again, I apologize. Whether you're live tonight, I apologize for this. You have no idea what I've only been sick 4 times in my life. Like once when I was in college, I got the flu really bad. Right, I caught COVID once. Right, I think I had the flu maybe when I was sick, and then for the last week, I literally did not have a voice until a strong voice until at some point today. And then you don't know this, Darius, and this is way too much for our viewers, but we're authentic and honest on the Hope Show, man. I had like an allergic reaction yesterday, and like my lips swole up, and I was like, "There's no way I'm doing the Hope Show." So I've been popping Benadryl all day. I was going to show up today as Dr. Fink, if you know Prince, and Prince had the piano player who always wore the surgical mask. I was going to show up tonight on the show with
I kind
Dr.
of
Fink,
expected it. You know what I'm
but
saying?
I've had enough Benadryl in the last 8 hours to to cure just about any allergic reaction in America, except for those of us that are allergic to ice. So anyway, let's dive right in. We've got some guests. I'm going to welcome them to the stage. Janae, how are you doing, Janae? Welcome to the Hope Show.
Hello, good
How you doing? Are
evening.
you ready for this, Janae?
I hope so.
The Hope Show. You hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
According to my son, she's ready. That's
Okay.
all I
All
know.
right. Okay. All right. And we're going to add Stephanie as well. Stephanie, welcome to the Hope Show.
Welcome,
Hello.
Stephanie.
How you
Welcome,
Hello.
doing?
Stephanie. So
Hello.
you two are the dynamic duo that's going to carry this whole show tonight. I see.
You put a lot of pressure on me right now. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna try to mix it up. If Eric can get his technology working right, you know, we should be able to chop it up pretty good tonight. He's pretty good at these things. I just asked that his wife doesn't smack him in his mouth again, and he has to come on the show. That's all I ask.
You're very, very funny. You are
But yeah,
very,
I'm
very
glad.
funny.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking your time out and joining us this evening. It should be good. You know, we want to hear your perspective on these topics. So
Thank you for having me.
All
yeah,
right. See, normally I have two screens, and I actually took a screen yesterday to see a client, and I believe that I left the power cord in the client's office, which basically renders this screen useless, right? And I discovered this tonight at 7:58. So forgive me for that, but I'm going to figure out how to get this done because some days I'm pretty good at technology. So we're going to go right into this one and see if we can get this one shared. Can you guys see that?
we don't. I don't see anything yet.
Don't see anything yet. All right, it's asking me if I want to share it, and it's not sharing it. Oh, there it is. Got it.
Okay.
All right. All right, so here we go. Ladies, we want you to take a look at this. We're going to talk about it afterwards.
See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 106 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people.
Please welcome
All
John
right,
Blackwell.
that was it. I'm going to stop the Prince video, obviously. So, yeah. Yeah, we were going right in. I apologize for being that aggressive with the first clip right out of the gate, but you know, in the context of all of it, you know, Terrace and I have often had these conversations where, you know, he looks for certain things in women, and Terrace, you can jump in here and help me out with this, but has way more to do than with looks. It has a lot to do with who the woman is, etc. The flip side of that is we've got women on the other side that have these tremendous standards that they place upon men, and we somehow kind of get caught in the middle of that, and it just doesn't seem to work, right? Doesn't seem to work at all. But so, what's your take on that video, and more importantly, his comment to her about her being an average woman who was trying to basically, what guys call it, you outkicked your coverage, like, you know, step in a realm that was that is available to her.
We can just talk.
Yes,
Yeah,
just
just
spit it out. Yeah.
I feel like me personally, I just feel like this is like a debate that's been going on since I was in high school. Mind you, I'm 26 now. I think when it comes to terms of like females or women, and I would say women, not females, women trying to find a type and to have standards, I think for me personally, it goes beyond the physical characteristics of it. It's not like my mom always told me, like growing up, like looks fade. You know what I mean? And that's not what you look for in a partner. Like you look beyond that, because somebody he could be 6'4" and he could be living with his mom, not having a job. He could, like, you know, it just goes beyond that. So I think in terms of like, I do think sometimes a woman, we do just be like thinking of like a dream guy and what did he do look like. But it's like you said, it's like just like for as a woman, you have to have more than looks. Like it's like looks brings you to the table, but what keeps you there? I do think though, men and women, I think we should have high standards when it comes to finding a partner. I don't think there is no high standards when it comes to finding somebody that you're going to build a partnership, build a home with, have children with, put your finances together with. Like, I don't think there is a thing as high standards. I think that there's like being delusional. Okay, like you can't be, and it's like he said, like he told her, you're average, so you're only gonna get an average man. So you can't also, in the same sense, you can't be somebody who you're not trying to elevate in life, like you're just trying to be stagnant. Like let's say me, like, and I work like at a grocery store. I can't expect very easily I'm just gonna find an NBA player. That's not logical. Like, you know what I mean?
You would have to be the best bad girl in
The
the history.
best. And like, look at this. I was literally having this conversation with one of my male friends, and it's like, look at this, a lot of those men in the industry, they have relations with the same females and they pass them around, and the reason why is because those women are industry trained. They're trained, they've been trained since they were probably like 12, 13, 14 to handle those type of men, like to handle the secrets, to handle the financials. They know their place, like they know where they're at, and they know how to stay there, and they know how to stay quiet. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So you believe that that there was some truth to what he said, I guess.
Yeah, I do
Right.
believe that there is some truth.
Yeah.
I agree. I think his delivery could be a bit different.
His delivery is always tragically aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree. Yeah.
Comes at your neck regardless of what you say. Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like an insult regardless.
Yeah.
But I would say it's almost kind of like finding somebody that's your not necessarily your mirror, but like your teammate. You know, like find somebody in your bracket, that's in your like what you said. You're not going to be working at a grocery store and expecting an NBA player. Like usually, you know, like
One of these is going to come up, I'm sure, in one of these other videos. It sounds to me like you guys are saying that can't work at a grocery store and expect to date somebody who drives a Porsche, right?
to an
I mean, that's what it
extent.
sounds like you guys
To
are
an
saying.
extent.
So does
Because
that
I'm a
mean that it's
teacher.
about money?
It goes beyond money. It's like
Okay.
it goes way beyond that. Like you can't be a broken person and then expect that you're gonna just have a man or you're gonna have a woman and they're gonna have all their stuff together. Like they're gonna want big things and they're gonna want to build and create a home and do this, that, and the third. And they're emotionally and mentally mature, and you're broken as a person. Like that will never work.
That is
Okay.
true. Right.
So
That is
so
true.
you're not saying it's about money, but because
Money is one of the things. Like I would,
Okay.
I would be lying if I said it's not. It's one of the things, though.
Okay. You're thinking. I can see it. You can spit it out.
Say it. Yes.
Okay. Money, it could play a big role in it, but I mean, okay, I kind of take back what I said. You could, if you have a good heart, if you know how to hold a conversation, if you know how to treat people, that grocery store worker actually can bag the NBA player if he wants that.
Because what I was going to say is that men and women want entirely different things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You guys want and need security.
Absolutely.
You want someone that's going to take care of you.
Exactly.
You know what?
Kids. And
You know
everybody except for Terrace, I'm sorry, Terrace, I'll shut up in a second. But everyone except for Terrace, when he looks for a female, basically goes for looks, right? So you can be a bagger, and as long as you look a certain way, you'll still get the guy, right? But so we want different things. Terrace, you were going to say something?
No, I'm agreeing with both of you because it works. It's more inclined to work that way, where a man who has a lot of money can meet and date and marry a woman that he meets at the supermarket or it's bagging groceries. But it rarely happens the opposite
way, yeah.
where the man is bagging groceries and he bags a woman that's probably has a lot of money. Because we are both different. Women want to be provided for and protected. That's biology, right? It's really biology. We have toxic women that take it too far, but it makes sense why women are that way because they have the babies. They got to make sure that you can provide and protect them when they have their children. So they're not just trying to have babies with anybody.
But
right?
It's about your delivery too.
About that. So that's biology. For men, we want somebody that's beautiful and attractive and nurturing, someone that can care for our family while we go out and take care of what we have to take care of. So it tends to happen. She's right when she says, she could meet somebody like that if he thinks she's beautiful, right? She could be making $12 an hour at the grocery store and meet a rich person, but it tends not to happen in reverse for that reason. This is why what we've seen is no matter how much money women tend to make, they still want the man to make more money than they make. She could be making $200,000 a year. He needs to be making at least what she makes or more, or she's going to have a hard time respecting him, and she's going to think he's not at her level. It's fascinating to me how that is. So in other words, if I meet her and I'm making $100,000 a year, but she's making $200,000 a year, I don't make enough money for her, right?
Technically, we can't really split the bills. Like I'm still going to be paying more, so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I can pay the bills with my $100,000, but she's going to have a harder time respecting me as a man because I make less money than her. Right now, we can say this is toxic.
Yeah, I think that's
it kind of is, but it kind of is biology. Like she wants to feel like the man is making more money than her. And he has more value in that way, is still providing and protecting.
I would offer that you're all wrong. First of all, I believe that if y'all saw Michael B. Jordan bagging groceries, you wouldn't care. You'd still date, and you'd be like, "Oh, he's so fine. Look at how he put that melon in that bag." I don't believe it.
Well, that's
I
because
believe it.
they know him as Michael B. Jordan.
No.
They've seen him in tons
Well,
of movies.
I was
But
no,
if
I
he
was
wasn't in any
I'm talking about
movies.
Michael B. Jordan's a guy that looks like Michael B. Jordan. I'm
Now,
not talking
hold
about
on,
Michael
hold
B.
on.
Jordan. I'm
You know
saying
what? It's a
if
good
there's an
point.
attractive guy and he's smooth enough, they'll at least go on a date with him.
Oh yeah, good-looking
I
guys.
believe that.
Right,
Yeah.
good-looking guys
Right.
can date.
So that's
right.
the first point. The
It will
second
only
point,
go so far, though.
Exactly.
Especially if she's a woman who has things going for her, and I don't mean
Yes.
just monetary wise. I mean that she has dignity, respect, and she has core values. It will only go so far.
But
like
so far.
when but so far, like it's the same thing. Like when we're talking about, like, if it was a girl working in a grocery store and she's like beautiful and this, that, and a third, in the same token, it probably only goes so far for a man who is in the industry making so much money. You know what I mean? In his mind, she probably will never be able to understand what he deals with on a daily basis because of like the level he's on. So he may only just see her as that beautiful woman that he can take out on a couple of dates, that he can impress because she probably never been around somebody who had this X amount of money. Like, you know, but it will.
I want to believe you so badly, but I just came off of a fresh week-long binge of Love After Lockup, and I have
Jesus,
watched
no,
women
I could never
all
relate with
week
them.
long.
That's kind of
You
where I was
gotta
going to
let-
go
You need
next.
to stop
Women
watching that show.
definitely.
You have love after
Listen.
lockup. You know what I mean?
Listen, I am between Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup. Two things. Number one, I realized that I've been in the right end of the dating pool my entire life because I've never met people as dysfunctional as people on that show.
Oh,
And number two, there are a lot of lonely women out there.
Yes.
that
Absolutely.
Yes.
will
Women
date
are definitely
not
more willing
only
to date
the-
for potential.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not only,
That's
so,
a yes, girl.
what was
That's
that point?
Say it again.
Women are more willing to date for the potential, like what he could possibly be.
What he could possibly be.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's when you waste a lot of time.
Because I'm telling you, I saw some of these women and they're like, yeah, over the course of the past 8 years. I'm like, you've been waiting for him for 8 years? Like, you've been celibate for 8 years, and over the course of 8 years, you sent him $75,000, right? In jail. And then they get out and wonder why it doesn't work. Like, it's just it's got to be one of the top.
It's mental illness. It's got to be mental illness.
One of my girlfriends, like, she was telling me her cousin, he just got out of jail, and he has for years. This is ongoing for years. He has multiple females that will put apartments in their name for him, cars, who will give them money because one of her friends that she put onto him has got so clingy, and he's like, he had to cut her off. And she was like, I told her before she got with him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a real thing. Like, this is a real thing. Like, and he has multiple, and she's basically upset because he don't want to cut none of them off. And I'm like, wow, like, this is a real thing. Like, desperation attracts all the right type of wrong people. Like, it's a real thing. It's real thing. Like, I never believed it, like, until I see these shows and you hear real life situations.
That's not a good man, but I mean, hey, if he knows how to use it, he gonna do it. So if they falling for it, he gonna do what he knows, I guess. It's not right. It's not right, but hey, if they falling for it.
Yeah. Well, so check this out. So, this conversation, can the divine feminine woman save this mess? Because it's messy, right? And just looking at some quick statistics, 63% of men aged 18 to 29 are not in a relationship, a rate nearly double that of young women. 44% of Gen Z men don't date during their teen years. For millennials, that number was 32%. For Gen X, it was 23%. So it's actually gotten worse with Generation Z. 27% of Gen Z men have never been in a serious relationship, believe it or not. 80% of the people on dating sites are men. And 80% of those men that are on dating sites actually get ignored, which is fascinating to me, right? And the problem is even deeper for African Americans. 49% of Black women have never been married. That's up from 37% in 1990. 50% of Black adults have never been married, compared to 34% of the U.S. population. And research suggests that marriages between Black women and white men are 44% less likely to end in divorce than white on white couples. So my question for you guys is, well, first of all, what the first thing that says that is that if there are divine women, it seems like the white men are snatching them up and staying married to them. That's the first thing, right? Because those relationships tend to work. But what's going on? I had the title of that slide called the shit show, because my friends that are anywhere between the ages of 22 and 38 who are dating and trying to find someone to be in a relationship with say that it's really, really bad out there. So what's going on with that? Like, is that what from your perspective? Like, is that like the reality of it nowadays?
Um, I think it's a mixture of being a little bit insecure.
Who, on the male or female part?
On the male side, I'm just gonna go straight in. I think there's a lack of. I'm sorry, but I just think there's a lack of manliness. Like, I grew up with my mom and my dad, and my dad used to do everything. There's work done in my house from 20 years ago that is still solid that he did. And there aren't that many guys that know how to do anything, that know how to hang a shelf or do something, And I think with that, it comes not they know that they don't know how to do certain things. If I have a man and I have to call another man to come help do something, like, there's already a little issue in that. So I think they know subconsciously, like, okay, I can't provide certain things. And I don't know, it kind of like makes them feel less than.
What if he can afford to pay somebody to come do the hammering?
So I guess it kind of depends on what the woman wants. Like, I personally, I want my man to be able to fix it. I want to call my man to fix everything. I don't, if I have to call somebody else, then it's like, I could pay for somebody else to do that.
Well, you know what she's saying makes sense, because she's unconsciously trying to pick a man that has traits like her father, right?
Right. Yeah.
To her, a masculine man is able to fix things and do that, versus a man who just pays to get it done, because that's what she's seeing from her father, right? So unconsciously, that's what she's going by. We all basically do that unless we learn different. If we don't really learn anymore, we're going to unconsciously pick somebody that's like our parents, whether it's good or bad. That's what we're going to look at. And that happens unconsciously. So you raised a very good point, Eric. And you said, well, what if he could just pay to have it done? And she's like, that's nice, but I would prefer if my man can build it with his hands. That's an energetic turn on for me if he can do that. I probably would have more respect for him if he's able to do that.
Or if we can at least try to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. So as you can see, women they certainly have a defined view of what masculinity looks like from a lot of men. And if you talk to a lot of men, they have views also to what a feminine woman looks like to them. And this is where the fight is going on.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie, where do you land on that? Stephanie, I wanted to hear Stephanie's opinion on that.
Like, on why I think dating.
No, we're gonna go back to Janae's point where she wants her man to be able to put that shelf together. I'm gonna, in the best interest of full disclosure, I once got a computer desk, Janae, that was like, I don't know, some exotic thing from IKEA that I guess the manly man, according to your definition, could probably knock that thing out in about 45 minutes. I worked on that thing all night long. It took me 9 hours to put this thing together, and literally 4 days into it, the door fell off. And so I'm I'm not exaggerating. At least
you tried, though. She said somebody who was going to try and figure it out. At least you tried.
Yeah. But I learned.
Then you call IKEA to tell them
they got that door fell off. If that door falls off, she's going to divorce him. She's like, but this ain't going to work out. He's finished. You know what I'm saying? He's finished.
Yeah. So I'm that guy who one of my buddies and I, we had this conversation. He was like, yeah, he'll look at something. He'll be like, yeah, it'll probably take me about 3 or 4 hours to fix. And I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that'll take me about $300 or $400 to pay somebody to fix it, because I'm not doing that. I get manicures. Like, come on now. It's not my thing. So it's not my thing. So what about you, Stephanie? How do you feel about that?
I agree with it. I actually, I was like 2 years ago, I was renovating my room, and a guy I was seeing at the time, and we wasn't even seeing each other for that long. He came and he built the bed. Mind you, me and my one girlfriend, she came over and we did everything else. It took us 5 hours to put a dresser together. That dresser right there, it took us 5 or 6 hours to put that together. He put the whole bed frame up. It was the most attractive thing I ever seen. He put the whole bed frame up in like an hour, the most. Then another day we ended at his house, and I saw him put together like this cabinet wine rack holder thing up in like 30 minutes. And I was like, wow.
Like if you can build me something, I will definitely cook you a meal. Like, what do you want to eat?
Yeah, I agree.
It's interesting, you guys gravitating back towards what are traditional gender roles, right? I mean, that's really what that sounds like.
Because if we're worrying about paying somebody to do, I got the money to pay somebody to do it.
I think at the end of the day, you want to be able to like call your man, and like if there's a situation going on, and I want him to be able to fix it. You know what I mean? Because it's like she said, if I have to call you and then you have to call another man, I could have done it myself. You know what I mean? I could have. Well, I'm calling you because like.
Well, now that I feel completely emasculated, I'm just going to go hop in my Porsche and go away. I'll see you guys later.
This is great, because we're talking about younger women. These are younger women, and they clearly they like, listen, if you can pay, I could just pay. What I need you for?
Literally, I'm 29, by the way.
but see, this is what's going on when I say energy. You have too many men that are in their feminine, right?
Oh yeah,
and absolutely. The men feel like there's too many women that are in their masculine.
The whole male ponytail phenomenon is one that I just don't understand. If you're walking around with a dude as a ponytail and you're watching the show tonight, send us some emails, call me names, whatever, because I'm telling you, that stuff is whack. Like that is the most unmasculine thing I have ever seen, when you got your hair in a rubber band.
But hold on, Eric. Eric. But what? Stephanie and Janae says if he has a ponytail, but he can put
the bed together
in 15 minutes, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If he got some muscles, they can put that cabinet together in 15 minutes and say, what's up? What you got next? And knock it out, and got power tools and everything. They don't give a damn about his ponytail. Okay.
I actually like guys with hair.
That's you saying what's attractive. What's attractive to them is entirely different.
Right.
They want to say, knock out that furniture right quick. You know what I mean? Come back and say yes. You know what I mean? With a towel around his neck and a man bun.
I don't know about the man bun. I got my limits. The ponytail, I'm already like, I don't know about a man bun.
I love it. I love hair. I love the man bun. I don't care. I like it.
She's like, I don't care. He can have one, two.
As long as he has the skill. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
As long as he has the skill. If you knock that out in 15 minutes and say, listen, what you got next needed done? You need that kitchen sink fixed right quick.
Like, yes, let's save us a couple $100 so we can go on vacation.
Exactly. She hears some electric screwdrivers wearing, some tools, some drills. She's like, okay, he's real. He's about it. And that's what's happening. That's happening on both sides. You hear men say, well, my girlfriend, I don't know any women that can cook. These young girls today can't cook. Like they're saying some of the same things. Like she can't cook, and they feel like she's combative and all this stuff. We hear it from both sides, right? From both sides. And what you're talking about is energy. You know what I'm saying? It's both sides. So it's pretty interesting to hear them talk, so.
All right, I got another video for you guys. See if I can get this one working. Whoops. Well, I'm sincere in my disbelief that I can no longer pay for things and be considered a man.
You have to have other.
Right, sure. How to reconcile that?
Are you an engineer? Like you you're a super
Just
genius?
saying.
Like,
Just not
Gary,
sure.
she's like fix something, okay? I don't care
Right,
what you do.
exactly.
something.
Fix
I
something.
See,
gotta
I was
need
gonna
you for
say, you know, I
something.
know I like to clean and cook, and then I'm like, man, like what's wrong? Like I've turned into my mother. But here we go. Let's watch the video. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
You weighed more than a man at your height. True or false?
I'm
True or
around a
false?
lot of chubby dudes, so
No, but okay. How much do you weigh?
220.
I weigh 210 and I'm 6'4". You broke the first rule. See, you ladies don't mind breaking the rules. The men are visual. The men want women that are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. Y'all don't mind being the size of, I'm sorry, you're 5'8"?
I'm 5'8".
You're about the size of Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders was. You're a running back size.
Okay.
You can hit the A gap like a motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. I accept
So don't
that.
come in here and talk about what men should not be able to do when they got to accept somebody who can run out the power I.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
I mean,
All
I'm being
right, but at
silly.
the same time, no.
I'm
We
being
have to be
silly
realistic.
I'm being silly because to make a point that modern women are so full of righteous indignation, what you are and ain't going to accept and all this other kind of stuff, when you're not even what most men want.
No, and I'm working on that. You said I'm 23. You said that I have until like 25.
There's no reason to be 23 and 220 pounds, man. You ain't had no babies. There's absolutely no reason to justify unless it's something, unless it's glandular that you got a doctor's note for. There's absolutely no reason.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I give you
All
that.
right then.
But
But you weighed more than a man at your.
All right. So, so he said men want women that are fit, feminine, cooperative, and submissive. So, Terrence, how does that tie into the divine feminine? Are those divine feminine traits?
No. Actually, they're not.
So you disagree with Kevin?
Yeah, I mean he's speaking more physical, but those are not only the divine feminine traits.
Cooperative and submissive and feminine are not physical. The only thing that was
Yeah,
physical
and
the word fit.
those are traits, but those are not all of the traits. Again, it's not that he says everything wrong, it's just that he's not saying it in love. You know what I'm saying? The tone in which he's saying it just undermines the message. I understood what he was trying to say to her.
Let's put a blanket statement out there. I should have said this at the beginning that half of my friends like Kevin Samuels and what he stood for. He obviously is deceased, and so we don't want to honor or dishonor him. We're just trying to give give his what he considered his truth. But half the people are going to hate him, half the people are going to like him. I just want to get that out there. So I recognize that, and the way he said it, was again aggressive and probably hurtful to some.
Yeah.
But 3 of those traits were not physical traits. So
No,
how does that tie into the divine feminine? Like he did mention feminine, the word feminine. He did mention cooperative, and he did say submissive. And so how does that tie into the definition?
He was just talking about feminine women. He was saying the fact that she was overweight, and he wasn't wrong. I mean, he wasn't wrong in the fact, and it's just like women on the other side, in the fact that masculine alpha men do want smaller women. Like we know that biologically. Like they tend not to be attractive to bigger women. Okay, alpha guys and women tend to want alpha guys. I had a close friend of mine. We had this discussion about that, and she didn't realize what she was saying. She's a bigger woman, and so she tried to tell me that she thought she was a masculine woman. And I said, no, you're not a masculine woman. I said, I've known you for years. You cried at the drop of a hat. You are not a masculine woman. And so what she said was, and she said it unconsciously, she said, I tend to date feminine men. I said, yes. I said, you date feminine men, but you end up breaking up with them. You don't date them for long. You get with them and then you break up. I said, if you were truly a masculine woman, if you were more in your masculine, then you wouldn't have a hard time dating a feminine man. because I do have friends like that. So it's not this is right and that's wrong. I have friends who they are masculine, they're more in their feminine. They may not know that, and all it means is that they look to their women for direction. Okay, that's what it really means. And it's worked. They've been together for 15, 20 years. Okay, so you do have that. But for my other buddy, whenever she's dated a guy like that, it doesn't work. She loses respect for him. She breaks up with him. And then what she said out of her mouth, she said, Terrace, she says, alpha men don't want to date me. And when I told her, I said, it's because you're a little overweight. And I wasn't trying to be mean to her. I said, you're a little overweight, and that's not going to happen. I said, if you lose weight, you will notice that things will change. And I'm not judging her. I'm just trying to explain again, it's biology. You know what I'm saying? Masculine, because like Eric said, we do tend to be more physical, and alpha masculine men are more attracted to smaller women. Just
Right.
like smaller women are attracted to men, and there are stats on this, they're attracted to guys. Like we think as men, women tend to like really big, bulky men with the big muscles. Some women do, but really what women I found from studying this, what they find attractive is men who have what is called the warrior's body, where they have an athletic build.
Axe hanging out your head? What are you talking about?
No, they have an athletic build. They're not real bulky, but they're fit. Small, nice abs, broad shoulders, but athletic. They call that the warrior's body. That is the body type that women tend to find the most attractive. I see you shaking your head, Janae, right?
I agree.
Yes.
I can agree. Yeah.
Yes, that's the body type they find most attractive. Okay, is the warrior's body where the guy is fit. He has an athletic body. And those are the bodies that traditionally, back in ancient time, when we had to go out and hunt for animals and food and bring it back and kill it, you were built that way. Being bulky, you wouldn't have the endurance to run like that and everything.
Let's be real. Before the American food industry, all men were built that way. Before we all start eating processed food, we were built that way as recently as the 60s. Like,
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Onset of diabetes at age 12 is uniquely to our food industry. So I have a question for the guests. Have you ever been told that you were too much or too masculine by a man, either too much or too masculine?
Yeah, and but I've also had more things in place than he did. My life was more set up better than his was too.
So what was he saying specifically, and how did that land with you? Like, how did that impact you?
It was like it was more like a kind of trying to attack my my discipline and my structure, because like both my parents always told me, okay, you have to have a job. Like, don't rely on a man. Even my dad told me that. Don't rely on a man.
That's what they say. Yeah.
And the ones that wanted me to rely on them, wanted me to kind of like tone down my drive, it intimidated them. Like, I work, I go to school, I take care of myself, I take care of my dog, I take care of my house, I do what I have to do, and there's always something to do, and that can be, I guess, intimidating to somebody who doesn't see life like that. But I can't slow down because I have things that I have to take care of. So either catch up or.
So,
that makes sense.
Stephanie, what did your parents teach you about needing or not needing men growing up?
Well, I grew up with a single mom. So at the end of the day, my mom, it's like 50-50 on it. Like, my mom catered towards, like, because I live in a Hispanic household, and it's like very like catered to men in the sense of like cooking, cleaning, and just like trying to not rock the boat, not trying to make arguments. But my mom always instilled in me, like, no matter what, at the end of the day, like, you cannot depend on a man. So like my mom told me, get good grades in school so that you can get a degree in something, so that you can get married, and if it doesn't work out, you have something to fall back on. You know what I mean? So it was just more so that. So I feel like when I get in relationships, I never deal with nobody saying that I'm like nobody, I don't know how to explain it. I think guys do like it, and it is an insecurity if you're a female and you do have a lot of, you're very independent, you know what I mean? And I think guys really like it when you need to depend on them. Like when I was 22, I was dating like a 34-year-old man, and he had the car, he had a nice apartment, this, that, and the third. And like, and I was like, oh wow. But then I could look back on it now and I'm like, yes, I understand now why he was 34, like attracted to a 22-year-old who was like a broke college student. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember when I was I want to say I was a senior at Penn, and I met this young lady that I thought was absolutely one of the most attractive people I'd met to that point in life, anyway. And I was absolutely afraid to walk up to her. I used to work out a lot. We were at the gym, and my pickup line was, "Hey, you want to go to the gym?" That's how terrible I was at that age, right? Or unsmooth I was at that age. I get teased about it now by friends from back then, but I ended up asking her out, and she met me for lunch. And she was probably a year older than me, was out of school and had a job. But I remember her saying to me that she was dating a guy that was like 44 years old, which I thought was the strangest thing I had ever heard because she was only like 22 or 23. And I just didn't understand why a 23-year-old woman would be dating a 44-year-old guy. Like I just couldn't get that. And so in terms of like gender roles and dating, Terrace, what do you think's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, if that happens now, usually they would say that the young lady was looking for a father figure, right? When you have a age gap that large, she's probably unconsciously looking for a father figure. Now, back in the day, in the 1940s or whatever, we saw more of that, where younger women were getting married earlier. If you see that now, for a woman to sexualize a man that's 20, almost 30 years older than she, it's usually she's looking for a father figure. You know what I'm saying? Now for him it's great, but that's usually what it is. If the young woman has if she has a father in her life, she has a hard time sexualizing a man that much older. She's gonna want a guy that's closer to her age. But I want to get back to the point that Janae made, I believe, when she was talking about the fact that what her parents told her. And Eric, you and I've had these conversations that most parents are well-meaning when they want their daughters to be able to take care of themselves. They don't, they're constantly telling them, don't depend on a guy because he could leave you or he could beat you or abandon you, and you need to be able to take care of yourself. They're not saying this to hurt their daughters. They're trying to protect their daughters. The problem is that they're not spreading that whole spiel out and explaining both sides of it, right? Because what happens is you're teaching your daughters not to trust men. And when you talk about our society and what happens, that doesn't help. But again, they're not doing it to be malicious.
Right. I had to teach myself,
right. They're
okay,
trying to
do it for
teach
the
their daughters.
right person.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So we have to it's in our best interest to have a different message for our daughters to protect themselves, but we have to also show and teach on both sides. We have to restore this balance because we're out of balance,
Yeah.
and we're raising our girls not to be able to be in their feminine and be submissive and all this stuff that's really needed to help create this balance.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
I grew up seeing like my mom, we cooking, cleaning. My dad was the provider. We took care, we made his lunch every day. Like that was the house clean, that was done. We were taught what to do.
Right.
But like I said, I had to reteach myself, like it has to be done for the right person. Like, is this person gonna also, if you're gonna do this for him, is he going to do what he needs to be doing for you?
Right.
So.
Right. And so we see this, and this is part of what's causing the divide. And so
Tara, you're saying that things are out of balance, and so my assumption is that that we have a lot of wounded masculine men running around society dating people, and like the definition of the wounded masculine is someone who's controlling, dominating, aggressive, materialistic, and disconnected, right? And it seems
Absolutely.
like that's where a lot of our
Wounded
men
masculine.
are,
Yes.
right? And so that forces the women to have to react to that, right?
Exactly.
And so what's the reaction? Like what does that woman look like based on having to deal with men who are controlling, dominating, aggressive, materialistic, and disconnected?
Well, she becomes manipulative. You know, she becomes toxic herself. You know, she becomes needy. You know, she becomes manipulative. She becomes combative. You know, because she's clapping back against not being protected, right? You know, women want to be protected and provided for, and when you make her fend for herself, then you put her in her masculine. So now she's in her masculine. She doesn't really want to have to operate that way. She has to operate that way.
And
I
it's hard
hear
to
you.
differentiate when
Yeah.
it's genuine, when there's a man actually trying to be a man in your life. Like, are
Right.
you actually trying to be a man, or are you trying to just make me?
Take advantage, right?
Yeah.
Right. And this is why a lot of these conversations need to, you know, we need, and we are having these conversations because the divine feminine, I feel the energetic principle is trying to reassert herself, and she needs to. But now a lot of men don't like that, right? Like they're having a hard time with that because they feel like they're losing power and control, right? So, and this is what we see that's going on. But actually, we need her because we need that balance also. We need her to help us to access our own emotions. You see, and it causes all these problems. You
There's a
know,
lot of egos.
yes. You know, so one of the reasons for a lot of the toxic masculinity that we're experiencing is because we are out of balance. And that brings me my little section I want to talk about that. Do you have more you want to say, Eric, before I go?
No, go ahead. We're just
Okay.
yeah.
So give me a little bit of time. I know
I got some more videos to show, but
yes. Do you have more Kevin Samuels?
I've got a couple more Kevin Samuels.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm gonna try to go through this very quickly. Just talk about the role of patriarchy and the fact that women today are not expressed in deity. You know, they go to church and it's God the Father. Where's the goddess? No goddess, right? So patriarchy is a social system that centers male authority and elevates traits coded as masculine, dominance, control, hierarchy, rational supremacy, has shaped how women relate to themselves, to power, and to the sacred. Its impact on embracing the divine feminine has been profound in several interwoven ways. Number one, separation from sacred authority. In many ancient cultures, women served as priestesses, oracles, midwives, healers, and keepers of spiritual knowledge. As patriarchal religious structures solidified, spiritual authority became increasingly male dominated. The divine feminine was diminished into secondary roles. Example, consort rather than creator. Number two, she was split into extremes, pure virgin versus fallen temptress. And she was erased entirely from theology. This often taught women implicitly or explicitly that God is male, authority is male, and the sacred speaks through male intermediaries. See, this is the problem. You see, over time, this can create spiritual dissonance. Women may feel spiritually devoted, yet unconsciously disconnected from their own embodied divinity. Number two, internalized shame around the body. The divine feminine honors cycles, menstrual, lunar, seasonal, sensuality, and embodied wisdom, and birth, death, and transformation. Patriarchal systems often frame the female body as tempting or sinful, unclean, especially around menstruation, or weak or irrational. See, this is what we hear all the time. When the body is shamed, embodied spirituality becomes harder to access. Women may struggle to trust intuition, emotional intelligence, and cyclical wisdom, all core elements of the divine feminine perspective. Number three, suppression of intuition and emotional authority. The divine feminine values intuition, relational intelligence, compassion, interconnection. Patriarchal systems elevate linear logic, competition, control, emotional suppression. Many women are taught to distrust their inner knowing or to defer to external, usually male authority. Over generation, this creates a break between inner voice and outer permission. Number 4, fear of power. The divine feminine is not passive. She is creative, fierce, protective, destructive when necessary. Think Kali, Sekhmet, and Inanna. These were warriors, right? Patriarchal narratives frequently portray powerful women as dangerous, hysterical, witch-like, unstable. This has led many women to unconsciously shriek their spiritual power to remain acceptable. That's what Stephanie said. Embracing a divine feminine can therefore feel rebellious, even unsafe in cultures that have historically punished women for stepping into authority. Fragmentation of the feminine archetypes. Instead of honoring the full spectrum of feminine expression, patriarchy tends to divide women into narrow categories: mother, virgin, seductress, caregiver. The divine feminine restores wholeness. You can be sensual and sacred. You can be nurturing and sovereign. You can be soft and powerful. Patriarchy fractures, the divine feminine integrates, right? And collective trauma and spiritual amnesia, witch hunts, institutional exclusion, legal disenfranchisement, violence, and silencing have left intergenerational imprints. Even if not consciously remembered, cultural memory carries fear around visible feminine spiritual leadership. Sometimes resistance to the divine feminine isn't disbelief, it's inherited caution. So when you add all of that together and you hear these young women talk about what they're being taught, look at the history of what they've experienced. And then when you add in women of color, you might as well times that bad boy by 2 or 3.
Because Black women are not allowed to be soft and emotional, and that's where I was told I'm being too much. But no, women are emotional. We're supposed to be like,
yes, that's where all the power is, right? Yeah. And so when you marginalize feminine traits, then you're unconsciously telling them to be more in their masculine, and then when they're more in their masculine, you tell them they're not feminine enough. Now make it make sense. Like, which is it? All right, you can play your video now, Harry.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to follow that with a video.
Oh, come on, man. Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
I do have a question for the ladies. Like, when you say I don't need a man, is that empowerment? Or is that really
who said that? I didn't hear that.
I'm sorry, when you implied
I need a man.
You said you were raised.
Didn't she tell you she wants you to have a toolkit? Did you just miss that?
I'm sorry. When you said you were raised to not to be forced to depend on a man, is that empowerment or is that really armor? Like when you live that way?
I thought it was survival.
I
thought it was survival.
There.
I don't really look at it as it's kind of like kind of have goggles on as you're searching. Like, don't depend on somebody, but look for somebody that like I said earlier, like your teammate. Like, that's what I saw growing up. I saw a team. My dad was a hard worker and my mom was taking care of the house, and and he also was taking care of like the outside of the house and everything. So growing up, it helped me kind of weave out weak men. If that's an easier way to say it.
It's like I said, like it's like when you're trying to, it's like she said, like you're trying to find, this is not, I think people take dating way too lightly. I think dating is something that should be taken very seriously. This is you, it's like she said, you're scouting out. This is you finding a potential person that you're going to build a life with. You know what I mean? That y'all could possibly build a lineage with. And I don't think it's taken seriously enough as it should be and stuff. So I feel like when I say I trust me, I want a man and I need a man. Like, that's my mentality. But at the same time, it's just like, at the same time, it's like what I said, desperation will attract all the wrong type of people. You know what I mean? So look at the woman on Love After Lockup. They told us, I need this man. I need this man. Like, there's no other man but this man. And they sitting over here looking stupid. You know what I mean? So when I say, when it's like in terms of I don't need a man, it's not saying I don't want a man and I don't need a man. I can do this all by myself. No, it's saying I don't need those type of men.
I don't need the wrong man.
Yes, thank you.
and they've raised a very good point, and it becomes very interesting, right? Because, for example, you have men who are very, very athletic, right? Like they go and play against other men and are able to throw them around. And Eric, you played football, I played basketball. My son played lacrosse. I mean, he's a big guy, athletic guy, very strong, but he may not know how to put bookshelves together. He actually can't put together a bookshelf. But sometimes men display their masculinity in different ways, like in sports. Women tend not to care about sports all that much, right? Now we look at guys, because women tend not to care about competition only when it comes to them, somebody after they man or something, but they don't care about watching sports the way guys do, because that's part of the masculine. Competition is part of the masculine. Okay. So, but sometimes masculinity can be expressed in different ways. He can be a very aggressive, strong guy, which can be displayed in sports, athleticism, or martial arts or something like that. But she's like, if he can't fix a cabinet, he's not a man in her
Because
life.
at the end of the day, like, you can be a great athlete, but how does that manliness translate into our household?
See, right. See how
Mhm.
you see you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well,
You see-
here is, and let me explain to you how. Okay, because as someone who has had, like, if you total the number of people that I've had on teams across my entire career, it's probably more than 500 people, right? And when you play sports and you are a part of a team, you learn more than anybody else what it's like to be a teammate. You learn more than anybody else what it's like to do your part and play your role, because the only way that teams win is if everybody understands their role and everybody plays it. So don't knock the guys that were athletes, because there are some inherent life lessons in sports that transcend life. So anyway, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go right.
and that's
So
that's a
what about the
very good
women who
point. Go
played?
ahead.
What about women who played sports? Because I played soccer all my life.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, they're in their
Exact same thing.
masculine.
Yeah.
When they're playing sports, they're in their masculine, right? And that's okay. They're in their masculine. When men are creative, they're in their feminine.
Mm.
And we know what creative men can. We know how they can drive women crazy. Prince, Michael Jackson, those guys performing, they were technically in their feminine. So when you're in your creative, you're in your feminine. When you're in your logical, you're in your masculine.
So you trying to say that women aren't logical?
No, you have women that are logical too. We have both within us, masculine and feminine energy.
I just don't understand how logic has. I don't understand how you assign that to.
Those are more masculine. Again, when we talk about patriarchy, patriarchal societies idolize being logical, right? Women tend not to be logical. It's not a bad thing. They're more emotional, right?
So before we get to the clip, and you mentioned patriarchal societies, I want to go back real quick, because you said we were out of balance,
Oh yeah.
right? And you made it sound as if we've been out of balance since the creation of society because of the way society was set up. But couldn't you argue that this is a relatively recent phenomenon? Because if you look back at the 50s, right, the 40s and the 50s, when we all had more traditional gender roles in the home, right, it seemed like we were doing a better job of raising our kids. It seemed like we were doing a better job at being husbands and wives because we understood those traditional gender roles. And didn't it all start to get out of balance? And I know we're going to get some letters about this, but did the feminist movement tip it out of balance? Right? And if you go to my Facebook page, I have there that the most important things in this world are gender rights, women's rights, and human rights. And so I'm not bashing feminists, but I do want to ask that question: like, did the the feminist movement kind of
The feminist
tip the scales the wrong way?
the feminine movement was a response to patriarchy. The feminist movement was a response to oppression, to the oppression and the marginalization of the feminine. So yes, they may have gone a little far, right? But I can't blame somebody. It's no different than having the Black Panthers, right? the Black Panthers were formed because of oppression and racism. Now, we may have thought that they were too radical, whatever, but I can't tell you how to respond when you're abusing me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the way I feel about the feminist movement. Yeah, we can say that, but we need to remember why it came about in the first place, because we were out of balance. It was an attempt to balance, to say, wait a minute, these traits aren't bad. Okay, yeah, maybe they went a little far, but if you ask me, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? In other words, we started it.
Listen, Terrace, you know I like to surprise you, man.
Oh, here we go.
You know I like to surprise you, particularly when we're on camera. We have another guest we're going to add to the show. We have a friend out in Nebraska, and we've had conversations with Jen before, so we're going to add Jen from Nebraska. I think she wants to weigh in.
I don't know that she wants to weigh in yet. But
Jen, how you doing, Jen?
Good. How are you?
Why'd you let Eric talk you into doing this? You know, he must be paying you. He must be paying you.
Undoubtedly.
Jen, good to see you.
Good to see you, Jen.
I'm not sure how much you've been on, but meet Janae and Stephanie. They're great in this conversation today. They actually have me feeling a little emasculated because I don't know how to put a damn shelf together. So we'll talk about that another day.
I'll talk to him later about that.
So, Jen, what are you thinking?
I don't, okay, so I'll be honest. I've been sitting here waiting a little bit in the background, and Terrace hit a couple of buttons for me in that last, talking about how women are not logical, and I suppose
it bothered me. I know he wasn't trying to
right.
Worry, but
and the sports thing really hit me as I was an athlete as well, but I love sports. And this, so
that one bothered me too. The whole thing about
I watch sports like a man, and yeah. You know it, right? Yeah. I mean, that's something that I definitely. In fact, I'll be very honest with you. On a dating profile once, I used doesn't everyone end their day with Sports Center? And let me just tell you, that was a very big hit. So yeah. Some of the things that you're saying, I question whether it is divine masculine, divine feminine, or it is gender stereotypes, right? And that is because being logical has served me very well, right? In my career.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let me explain. Okay. So all of us have masculine and feminine energies within us, all of us. As a man, I'm predominantly in my masculine, right? But I also have times when I'm in my feminine. And the same thing goes for women. So so this is not a right or wrong, right? If you like, for example, when I was driving for Uber and Lyft and everything, I would just interview people that got in my car. I would ask the women, I would get women in my car random, and I would say, so do you watch the WNBA? Right? 95% no. I don't have time. Do you watch any sports? No, I don't have time for that. I just don't get it. I mean, my boyfriend watches, blah, blah, watches. I go watch with him. I'm okay seeing guys wear tight clothes and be fit, but otherwise I could care less. I just don't get why they go crazy over that. Now, that does not mean, because my mother was big time into sports, okay? That's where her and I really connected. She loves sports, and I have many female friends that love sports. But overall, women tend not to care about feminine women, or women tend not to care about competition the way men do. For us, it's more like a ritualistic death, right? Because for a lot of guys, one of the reasons why we play video, it doesn't mean that there aren't women who don't play video games. Well, we go crazy over video games because this is how we express our energetic desires to hunt. to go out and hunt. Back in the day, we would be out chasing down animals and things like that. This is what we would do. We don't do that now, okay, because of where we are. I mean, maybe Eric still does that, but I don't do that. I don't do that now. So we have different ways of expressing that, and sports is how we do that because we tend to be more competitive. Doesn't mean that you don't have women who are competitive or who like sports, but when you start looking at the differences like that, I'm coming from an energetic perspective. That's where I'm coming from. So there are many women that like sports, but if you line them up, you just interview them randomly, they don't care about sports the way men do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for the record, and I'm sure she'll thank me one day, I taught my youngest daughter everything she ever needs to know about football.
Come on,
And as a
snickerdoodle.
result, she can actually chart football plays. So I think I've done my job there.
Yes,
so
you have.
I was
I'm
in
gonna
marching band for 4 years, and I do not know anything about football.
marching band.
Yep, at all.
That's
football
why.
games.
That's why you were in the
I know
marching band.
nothing about football. I was at every football game, and I know nothing.
Listen, okay. For the record,
That's pretty common.
you just lost all your cool points with me because you were in the damn marching band. Okay, because you can be a tech geek, you can be a lot of things. You
I'm
cannot
a professional
be cool.
musician.
You cannot be cool and be in the marching band. Just can't.
Okay.
Shut it.
Speak for
Huh?
yourself.
Just shut it.
Jen, were you in the band? Jen, you were in the band? Oh, wow.
But I also know a fair amount about football too.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the band.
I did not know you were in the band. What instrument did you play?
I started playing the oboe, but you don't really play that in marching band. So I transitioned to clarinet and saxophone.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's play this video quickly.
Just blew Eric's mind.
Yeah, totally. All right, here we go.
Crazy. Why don't you sell it to the market for that price so you can get that value?
Okay, you're right. Go ahead.
I know. We went all the way around this world just to say
You're correct. You're correct.
confidence. You said confidence is attractive.
Mhm.
Who says that?
Confidence is attractive.
If you think being
Uh-oh,
available
here's an ad.
all the time helps your career, you're wrong.
But-
Yeah,
Why
who
do you
says-
think so many people like you? You're very confident.
No, I see.
You're very confident.
See, hold on. See, I asked you a question, and it is rude to answer a question with a question. It's disingenuous. And I find that offensive.
Okay. This is interesting.
No, it's kind of getting off the rails, and it doesn't have to be. You said confidence is attractive, and I said, who says that?
I believe that confidence is attractive.
Okay. In relationship, who gets to decide what's attractive?
The person that's in the relationship,
No. The buyer or the seller?
the buyer.
Right. So the buyer has to deem confidence as attractive.
Mr. Samuels, are you attracted to I'm asking.
Excuse me, man. No.
Are you attracted to
No,
insecure women?
We're
Do
gonna
you
say
like
no.
women that are not secure within themselves or confident?
No, that's not what we do. You see, what happened was there was a check.
Mhm.
You said the buyer, and I said the buyers have to decide confidence is attractive. Men don't say we want confident women.
Okay.
So
It's true.
that's number one.
Okay.
You ladies can be as confident as you want, but one of the biggest problems with women today is your confidence is on to the point where it's overconfident.
Okay.
And it is the opposite of attractive. It's actually rather ugly.
Mm.
This is where a lot of guys tend to have a problem with women in their masculine energy because you're trying to be confident. How do I define men? Confident, intelligent, and assertive. Women are feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. So, being a confident woman, if it works against your interest in getting the outcomes you want, how's it suiting you?
I'm single, but because I enjoy my own company as a confident woman, I'm okay with right now being single. I'm learning to enjoy my own company because I am a confident person. That means that not only do I love myself, but I like myself.
Are human beings designed to be by ourselves or in couples?
I was born in the world by myself.
I said, are human beings designed? I didn't say we were born. I'm very careful with my words.
Okay. Are we designed to live alone? We adjust, we adapt.
Are we designed to be in couples and in groups?
Well, I was married for 12 years.
Again,
So,
the question is, okay, why are you being difficult?
Because all people are designed different.
I'm very clear with what I'm asking. And I've just had two very nice conversations. But I find it interesting.
But you asked me my opinion.
But I didn't ask you your opinion. I just asked you a simple, straightforward question. Are we designed to live in couples and in groups or alone? I didn't ask you your opinion.
The beginning of the conversation was my opinion, right?
We're past the beginning of your conversation. Okay. We're down to this point. See, this is the sign language part, folks. This is where we're at. And this is why you see what you see. This is why so much of us in the Black community are stuck, because a reasonable conversation should not be this difficult. But you go ahead and say what you feel like you need.
But you asked me.
Go ahead and say what you go tell the women what you feel like they need.
The question that you asked me. They need to be
confident. They need to integrate men in their lives. Go ahead.
The question that you asked me was, do I feel like people are designed to be alone? Love comes in many forms, so I can't speaking on the place I'm in my life right now.
Love, I didn't ask you about love, man. I asked you about human beings.
My name is Donna. My name is Donna. Thank you. That's fine. I'm beautiful though.
I wanna be without you.
I'm gonna stop it there because he started to go all in comparing her to Ja Rule. So, ladies, too masculine, her, or is he just being a complete jerk?
You know,
You put the asbestos suit on.
I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, I get what he was trying to say in turn, but I feel like that can go on both sides of the token. It's like, I feel like confidence to a certain point becomes cocky, and then cockiness really is not attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say though that a confident woman is something that she loses her femininity and it's a masculine thing. You know what I mean? I feel like
yeah, I disagree with him on that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's the way you carry it. I really feel like I feel like if you, like me personally, and then the point I didn't get, he was just saying, like, he was like, but you're alone. So how's that confidence treating you? And I was like, and what she said is like, it's true. And she's like, okay, but I'm happy being alone. I'm confident in myself and I love myself enough that I can be alone, because there's a lot of people out here that they're in relationships because they genuinely cannot be to themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just see that I don't think that there's an issue with confidence. I do think that there is a point where confidence, like I said, it becomes cockiness, and cockiness is unattractive.
So to the ladies, is it hard to be strong and soft?
Yes.
There's a thin line where it can become borderline arrogant, because some of us don't know when to receive. I'll say that. I feel like.
Yeah, that was actually a question I was going to ask you guys. Yeah.
That's something I'm learning now, when to receive.
That's very interesting that you say that, because receiving is part of the feminine. Mm-hmm. And this is why this whole patriarchal thing screws up. We all lose.
You can't expect to.
Receiving is part of the feminine. This is why when you give women gifts, they glow. You know what I mean? It's like it's part of it. Prosperity is part of the feminine.
Yeah, I was going to ask the question: do you struggle to receive love, help, or compliments? And I guess you're saying yes. What about the other two? Guess.
Yes, I mean, definitely. And I mean, I think that as we talk about this, I'm very much in my masculine energy, and I am acutely aware of that. Um, it is, I think, and I'm considerably older than our other two female guests. I think after,
She's like, I'm 29.
I'm 29. Yes, I'm considerably older than. I've spent a lot of years taking care of my children and being a provider, and it is very, very difficult for me at this point to step out of that masculine energy.
Mhm.
So, receiving love and gifts and compliments, yes, is very difficult. I think all of this is a very fine line, though. I've discovered that when I watched that video, for instance, that was such, for me, that was just, I would have had words with him for sure. Like I just would not have. So that sort of treatment, etc. I get where he was coming from, but I felt he was very disrespectful as a woman. But I guess there's a fine line. It's so hard for me because I'm so in my masculine energy that sometimes it's very difficult to find men who are have enough masculine energy to deal with that. I don't know how to put that another way. Does that make sense?
To be able to match your masculine. So you're basically saying you need a guy that knows how to put a shelf together too.
Yes.
I'm not going to let it go.
Yeah, what's probably going to happen is she's more inclined to attract a feminine, a guy that's more in it. Doesn't mean that he's like gay or anything like that, but he's more of a feminine guy. Because a masculine guy, a alpha guy, is not going to want to. He's going to be less inclined to be attracted to that. That's all I'm saying.
And that's very frustrating.
Yes.
Right. For me, because I really do want somebody who is masculine.
Of course you do.
I keep coming in, right?
And you're an example. You're a great example of what I'm talking about, where you are forced to be in your masculine in order to raise your kids and survive whatever your circumstances were. You've done it out of survival. It's not what you would want. And a lot of women find themselves in that situation. And this is why I think these conversations are great, so that we can be different. I'm constantly having conversations with my son, trying to teach him about these energies so that he can be better for himself and his future partner and the kids that they raise. It's important. And I said, listen, you need to be in a space to be able to take care of your wife, bring her home, keep her in her, she would rather be in her feminine.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, notice how I'm saying that. She would rather be in her feminine. She doesn't want to have to be a man and be in her masculine. Just like you would rather be in your masculine. You don't want to have to be in your feminine. It doesn't mean that masculine men can't cook. We love to cook. Eric is a great cook.
Love me a cook.
He can't put cabinets together, but he's a great cook though. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So when he's being creative like that, he's in his feminine. It doesn't make him because he's also an athlete. Okay. And he played football, which is why he can't remember my name half of the time. But that's a different topic for another day.
I remember your name, Bruce. You're good.
And I hear what you're saying. I think it's about everybody being, men and women, being better balanced.
And this is why we have to first respect the feminine, because patriarchy has knocked it out of balance. I blame the masculine, because for years you put down feminine traits. And so, and now we all are losing. That's my point. We're all paying for it. Uh-oh. He's about to put the video up.
We're going to put this last video up, which is a woman who we want to hear your opinion on, and then we'll kind of talk about some action steps and finish up here. If I can get it to play.
I just wanted to hear what he had to say. I didn't want to come for you so hard, my man. I mean,
appreciate that.
Trying to give you a chance.
Appreciate that.
I understand.
Is that the beginning of the video?
So is he someone that's your type?
Okay.
And see, here's the thing. It's not about just look at you and be like, no, because I've experienced people that evolve, you know, you grow into things, you know, and that's a good thing, right? So that's why I'm just at least trying to hear where your mind is at.
Correct.
And if it speaks the volumes of the appearance, then it's like, that's not going to change, right? And he doesn't have any desire to change or evolve from that. So that's why I was trying to just at least hear you out, you know? Yeah, I mean, people change their hair all the time. You change your clothes every day.
Right.
So I'm trying to.
Okay. Before we get into the question, is she someone that's your type?
Yeah. I like her mindset. So she's a pretty cool person.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
I've been working on it.
Glad to see it. So do you guys have any questions for one another then?
I guess I ain't her type though. She said, right?
Is that going to be a pop for you then? If she
It ain't. I ain't popping.
If he's saying he's not my type, then that means he's going to stay the same.
Oh.
No.
Because then what I said didn't matter, right? Because then it tells me, okay, if she don't like how I am right now, I don't plan on.
Oh, no. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, clothes could be changed. Hair could be changed. All of that. Yeah. If that's just what it is for you.
Well, that's why I have my balloon, because clothes and hair is not the only thing for me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where your mind is. So I'm going to let you ask the question because you are the initiator, and I'll follow that.
Okay. So what does your initial first date look like with a man?
My initial first date is asking him where he wants to bring me. And daytime, is he a planner? So I will know kind of where he's at and what he has in store and what type of life I would be walking into. So my initial first date would be up to the man. I would not want to be the one planning that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't saying like planning, like what type of stuff would you like to do on the first date? As far as are you into?
I want to do what he wants to do.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm there to learn him, and I'm there to know him.
But he got to learn you too, though.
And he'll learn me when I walk into his world.
Okay. Goddamn. Okay.
But walk into my world first. I'm not providing a world for you. So
not at all.
My world really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It matters to the extent of what have I cultivated?
Yeah.
Have I nurtured my world? Where can my world take him, right? When I enter his world. So that's why I won't present the preconceived notion of what I want to do, because he might show me something new. And now I just limited myself.
Yeah.
So what I'm already exposed to, and I never gave him a chance to step me into his world. So
damn, okay. Can we bring her up here or what?
It's Soraya. So
she's impressive.
So yeah, Terrence, what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's an example of what a divine feminine looks like, because clearly she has, like, notice how she's trying to protect his heart on a platform where everyone get shredded daily.
He was totally missing the point too.
And she's clearly teaching the other women that are standing around, and the guy, he's just fumbling because he knows that there's something special about her, and he's just trying to make it up as he goes, because he's like, oh damn, you know what I'm saying? He's overwhelmed because she clearly has put in the work. She is an example of what a divine feminine looks like. She is clearly not trying to emasculate him where she could, because the platform, it fits the platform. She's clearly not trying to do that. And she's teaching the other women around her, because the girl standing next to her was like, wow.
Yeah.
We need more. We need more of that. We need for both of us. And this goes for divine masculines too. This show is about divine feminine, but it goes for divine masculine too, to help restore balance. We gotta bring the divine feminine back, and she's coming back. But that girl is impressive.
She
can
wanted
have all
him
my
to
baby.
lead, and she was like kind of giving him
Yeah.
the like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
give you the pathway, lead me,
Yes.
you know. Yeah.
And for her to talk that way, she's being taught by parents, she's putting in the work, because she clearly knows, she understands what she is, she understands where she is, and she understands her power. And so that clip is impressive, especially on a show like that.
Yeah. Jen, you have anything to add to that?
It takes a lot of maturity and a lot of like what I said about earlier with the egos, getting rid of the ego to get to that point, because like I'm pretty sure she works extremely hard. She's extremely independent. She does everything she has to do, but there was some like talking to herself that she had to do to say, okay, there's certain things that's going to push a man away, you know, like, so I'm not going to take them away from myself. I'm not going to like disregard myself and my feelings, but I have to know how to deliver certain things so that I can create this safe space for a man to want to come in and lead.
Yeah, for sure.
When
Jen, you have anything you want to add?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't really. I mean, that's no notes. Yeah, honestly, that's something so coming in cold, right? And not knowing a lot of what you necessarily talked about before I got here.
Well, we talked primarily about the fact that I'm a wimpy man because I can't put myself together.
Oh, well, we've had that conversation.
Sorry, Janae, I'm not going to let that one go. I'm going to be talking about this in 3 years. You can trust me. You better believe it. Sorry,
I think some of it is hard to respond to on the spot as someone who is very stuck in their masculine.
That's
it was
very
kind
honest.
of awe-inspiring, right? In that it's like, oh, and she really was trying to help lead him. That was very impressive.
Yes, it was.
I'm sure in a day I'm gonna have a tremendous amount of thoughts on that.
She's gonna lead that brother right off a cliff because he has no clue what he's doing. He was lost in the sauce.
But you know what? The way she was with him, she could potentially inspire him into becoming a divine masculine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so impressive about that clip.
Yeah.
When the woman or man understands that, they inspire those around them, and she could possibly inspire him to become a divine masculine himself, which is impressive to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just quickly, Stephanie, do you want to add anything, or are we good?
It's just mostly, I think I like really how he was trying to, like, it's like y'all said, trying to steer him in the right direction. Because I think when it comes to dating, and the number one unattractive thing is like when a guy is just like, so what do you want to do? Like, or what do you, and I'm like, that's very unattractive. Like, I don't want to have to plan a date. Like, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, but because I didn't plan the date. And I'm like, no, it's bigger than that. I'm like, we're just getting to date because you're dating, you're scouting, you're trying to look for somebody. So you not being able to plan a date, I'm taking that. And I'm like, how am I supposed to build and plan a life with somebody who can't not even plan like one evening out? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How can you respect them? Absolutely.
Makes sense. Terrace, before I turn it over to you, I'm not sure if you're going to do a prayer or anything tonight.
Yes, I'm gonna do a prayer real quick. Yeah.
But wanted to do two things real quick. I wanted to thank our sponsors. The Hope Show is brought to you by Smart Tech Digital Agency, www.smarttechdigitalagency.com, and the Democracy Headquarters, democracyheadquarters.com. So some points, Terrace. This is kind of a summary of kind of what I learned today, and I want you to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on every one of these, all right? Divine feminine and divine masculine aren't gendered, right? They exist in all of us. Thumbs up, thumbs down. True or false?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Divine feminine and divine masculine aren't gendered. They actually exist in all of us.
Yes. They
Okay.
exist. They exist
It's a
in our
thumbs
life.
up. A lot of women have been forced into masculine energy as survival. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Feminine energy is nurturing and thrives on connection to nature, higher power, and wisdom.
Yes.
And wounded masculine energy, men are controlling, dominating, aggressive, materialistic, and disconnected. And because men are behaving in that space or existing in that space, they often force women into their masculine as a result.
Absolutely.
As a counterbalance.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I learned a lot.
Yep.
I learned a lot from our guest.
We have to do better.
Janae, I'm telling you,
I'm sorry.
You hurt my soul.
Good job, Janae.
Terrence and I have these very specific arguments about, types of cars that men drive and for whatever reason. And
I don't care.
And I've always thought that,
you change my tire.
Listen, in the true best interest of full disclosure, right? I used to take my car to the shop to get a headlight changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends was like, "I cannot believe you are wasting that money when you could just change a headlight yourself." And I'm like, "Change it? How do you even get in there to change a headlight?"
I've done that.
He was like, all the women shaking their heads.
I know every single woman on here is like, yep. So I got on YouTube and found a video and I wasn't joking.
They literally have channels for men who grew up without fathers. Like it's called Dad, I never learned how to. It's like how to change a tire, how to change your oil, how to tie a tie.
That's it.
There's no excuse now. There is no excuse in this digital age. There is no excuse. ChatGPT will tell you. You don't even gotta go on YouTube.
But in the same breath, there's no excuse for women not knowing how to cook and women not knowing how to clean properly or wash clothes.
And not knowing what their ultimate advantage is for a man, like what their role is really for a man. I've had older women tell me that they honestly didn't know. And I appreciated their honesty. Well, she said, honestly, Terrence, I don't know. And that's a problem. So what I'm saying is it's a problem on both sides. It's not just women to men and vice versa. Both of us need to see a need to learn about each other seriously and bring this thing back.
Well, hey, I changed a Porsche headlight. It took me an hour and 15 minutes because the directions were in German. But I got it done. And you know what?
Wait a minute, Eric. Was anybody there to see you do it?
Oh, I took pictures. I was actually pretty damn proud of myself. Yes.
Yeah, we need the proof.
She's like,
yeah. Photographs of that one. I'll tell you another thing, though, huh? I'll tell you another thing. I will never do that shit again.
No, you can ask
his girlfriend. I proved that I can do it. That's all I need.
You bring the Porsche to the dealership. You change the Nissan and the Hondas.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's hilarious.
All right, Terrence, the floor is yours. Take us on, buddy.
Yeah, so I want to do a closing prayer for restoring the divine feminine. Holy presence, source beyond name, mother, father, God, sacred weaver of all that is. We call back the wisdom that was silenced. We call back the tenderness that was shamed. We call back the power that was feared. We call back the voice that was buried. Divine feminine, breath within breath, womb of creation, river beneath all rivers, restore within us the memory of wholeness. Where we have been taught to dominate, teach us to nurture. Where we have been taught to harden, teach us to fill. Where we have been divided, weave us back into sacred balance. May intuition rise without apology. May compassion stand as strength. May the body be honored as a temple. May cycles be revered as holy design. Heal the lineage of women who were silenced. Heal the lineage of men who were taught to fear softness. Heal the children who inherit stories of separation. Let fierce love return. Let creative fire return. Let wise boundaries return. Let sacred partnership return. May the earth be seen as mother, not resource. May power be expressed as protection, not control. May leadership be guided by listening. May justice be rooted in care. Divine feminine, rise in our hearts without vengeance. Rise in our communities without division. Rise in our world as balance is restored. May we walk gently and boldly at once. May we remember that we belong to one another. May we honor all identities as sacred expressions of the one. And may the dance of feminine and masculine within every being move again in harmony. So may it be, and so it is.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
All right, everybody.
Amen. So, to Janae, Stephanie, and Jen, thank you very much for being our guests. We'd love to have you back. We should bring them back when we do the show on the Divine Masculine.
Absolutely. That's going to be another beauty.
Let me know when. I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
You guys were
Thank
great.
you.
You guys were great.
To the Hope Show family, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.